This part work has been supplied to me free of charge from Fanhome.com. Please pop along to their website and see all of the other build-up part works that they have to offer, as well as other collections of collectible things. I would like to thank Fanhome for providing me with the part work so I can produce these videos for your enjoyment and educational needs. If you'd like to build one of your own, pop along to fanhome.com. They're available in many countries worldwide. If you do want to build one, leave a note in the comments to let me know how you're getting on, and let me know how I'm getting on as well. I'd like feedback of all types. So thank you once more to Fanhome for providing me with this kit. I hope you enjoy the build. Let's get on with it. Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and welcome to issue 46 of building the Dodge Charger RT from Fast and Furious. This is the last of this month's delivery, but it's a big one. I know there's been a few little bits throughout this month, but this is the one where we're going to make some noise. We're going to plug in the electronics and get some sounds coming out. Before that, though, we'll look through the magazine. In the world of Fast and Furious, we're looking at Sean Boswell, Rebel Without Cause, the main character in Tokyo Drift. It's obviously the American in Tokyo. It worked quite well. I quite enjoyed the character, and the entire film really worked very well. I was quite pleased with it. A bit different to the previous ones, being that it didn't really have the main characters in it at all. I think Vin Diesel turned up right at the end, didn't he? But there we go. That's that. The Dodge Charger Daytona RT 2006. It's an interesting looking vehicle. It's got a bit of Dodge about it. Oh no, it is a Dodge, obviously. But it's got a little bit of that styling of the traditional Dodge, but also the more normal, more modern sort of semi-sports car. So quite cool. Right, the electronic control unit we're fitting in this stage. We've got an electronic control, a couple of switches, and a big thing with dashboard lights with wiring. Cool. We'll plug those in and see how it all goes together. I don't think the lights are going to do anything. I think we're just working with sound at the moment with these ones. But I'll push the buttons and we'll see what happens. So yes, that's going to come off obviously towards the front with a switch. Got another switch going over that side, and the speaker will plug into it as well. Then we fit some batteries, and then we'll press some buttons and see what happens. And we really will. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking it's probably going to work fine, but we'll find out in a moment. Power under control in the tuning. Yeah, brakes, basically. Braking system. A fundamental part of any tuning program. If you get more power, you need to be able to stop that power somehow. So disc brake systems and things like that. Perforated provide more effective heat dissipation, and they look nice. Carbon ceramic, obviously a much nicer material to deal with than steel. I don't know about nicer to deal with. It's probably harder to deal with, but works better. Substantial benefits in terms of performance in both wet and dry conditions. So there we go. Right, let me clear the bench, let me get everything together, and we'll see what we're going to be doing. Right, before I bring the car in, we'll see what we've got in this week's pack. We have a circuit board, which is quite nicely clean on the back, so that can go onto the metal without any problems at all. The circuits are well away from the screws. We've got the screws to hold it in place. We've got a set of 4 lights, LEDs on here, with obviously the cabling tied up around it. I find it quite interesting that a lot of these cables have extension pieces on them. Whether they're needed later to come apart, or I don't know, but it's just interesting to me that they've got that like that. So we've got 2 switches here, again white and a green. I don't know, they look to be normal push to make or push to break switches depending on how they're wired, but they're not switching. They're only actually working while the button is being pressed down. And again, both of these are shorter with an extension piece in them. Yeah, I don't know. I assume they just need to be longer, unless they're going to be disconnected and plugged in somewhere else, or another extension in between at some point. I really don't know. So first of all, let's get these plugged in where they're going to go. We have 1B, 1A down there. So on the other side there, we've got the chip that way round. That's what it looks like there. We've got 1G, I can see written on there, which is what's labelled on that. So this, see, the white one is going into 1G. Obviously, make sure you get it the correct way up, which is that way. That will go in there. We have the red and white going in underneath that one there, the lights. And then the green is going at the top here. Obviously, the speaker and the power will be going into this when it's plugged in on the car as well. But for now, I shall bring the car in. We'll get that attached where it should be. Let's have a look. The car itself, obviously, is now getting quite big, quite substantial, quite nice. That's that. Let's get 4 of these screws out, the DM screws that have got the built-in washers, like so. So this is going in that way round over these 4 plugs. They actually sit securely over the plugs, and then the screws just hold it in place, basically. So there we go. Let's get 1 screw down. I'm actually going to break my rule and put 1 screw down all of the way, so it can't wobble around and escape. Mainly because I don't want to play around with the circuitry and, you know, have that floating around more than it needs to. There's always the chance for damaging the electronics or shorting things out and things, especially when you're dealing with a metal frame with that on top of it. So yeah, there we have that. So that goes in there. Get all of these tightened down again now, supporting underneath, so I'm not putting strain on that central join any more than is necessary. Once it's got the rest of the body built up around it, I'm sure it's not going to be a problem. But let me just check. Yeah, they're all tightened down anyway. That's all fine. Right, so this one is plugging in to the top one over there, the power section, and the speaker is coming in over here. I'll go behind that one. It's got that going off over that way. So this circuit, assuming these are all staying as they are, we've got 3 more things to plug in there. It's obviously going to be other versions of lights and won't be any more sound, but it's just got to be the other lights, isn't it, basically? So we've got a switch, the white switch coming off over this way. We've got the lights. Get them under there as well. Get them coming off towards the front, because they're the dashboard lights. They're going to be up here somewhere. Yeah, I'm sort of concerned about that being shorting out against the metal, so I'm going to put it just down here. Power's going off that way, speaker and the green switch over there. Right, next up we've got to put the batteries in. It's 3 AAA size batteries. I won't film putting those in because it just means turning it over and getting everything connected up. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have put them in before I did that. But 3 AAA batteries are going in there, and then we'll get it all powered up and see what happens. Okay, that's got the batteries in. There's a switch next to the battery pack, which I can feel just under there. Let's flick that to what I hope is the on position. We'll see what happens. Let's have a look. It does say to push the green button, so obviously I'm going to push the white button and see what happens. Here we go. We have the dashboard illumination coming on. Slightly yellow lights on those, but that means I've got the switch in the right position. Push it to turn it on, push it to turn it off. Cool, I like that. That will work going down the line. Now, it says to put the switch for the wiring sound effects once, the speaker should reproduce the sound of the horn. Push it again, you should hear the sound of the engine. To stop the sound, press the switch again. And so if I push this once, it should make the horn sound. That sounds like a horn. I don't know. It does sound a little bit electronic, but it's okay. I don't know if I have to push it again. Will it be engine or will it be horn? Because it's been a while. It's sounding a little bit engine-like to me. I think the microphone has cut out for a second there because it's considering it background noise. I'll push it again. It gives a different tone, but I'll push it again to turn it off because that's quite loud. There's obviously no volume control on this. depending on what surface you have it on, it will sound different. Or this is a matte, so it slightly deadens it. If you've got it on a metal plate or a wooden surface, it obviously reflects it back up and it will sound a bit different. But that's not too bad. It's a little bit mechanical, a little bit tinny, but I'll do it again just to see. Brush it twice. No, that just turns it off. There we go. So yes, it's got the starting up sound. It keeps going, and it's got various different sort of an engine, maybe. I can see I'm not going to be pushing that button very often because that's a little bit annoying. But it works, that's the important thing. So I shall turn the switch off there, so that's all not in danger of making noises on its own. The lights aren't in danger of coming on. That's the end of this month. So thank you very much for joining me on this build. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I know I am. It's good. I like it. So yes, it's working. It's come together. I shall put that in a little bag to keep that from potentially shorting out. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you very shortly for the next stage. Bye bye for now.